Welcome to a Farmers Ask the Expert show every day, right here on the Farmers Media. Every Friday, we have the Ask Expert show, and we have been talking about food systems across the world. We talk about food systems. What are these food systems? How are they being affected negatively? What can be done so that we can start changing these food systems? We have challenges of production. We have challenges of affordable transport and logistics services. We have challenges of market access. We have challenges of aggregators. The other word that I normally use is brokers. But most importantly, what can we do at individual levels to be able to change this? We have technology that is being built across agri-tech solutions, being pumped in with resources, but we still have very many challenges that we're facing. We have young people who are doing amazing work, and today we are joined one. I don't know if he's a young man. I'm not seeing any gray hair. But we are joined by one of them called Lenin Nyakinya, who will be telling us shortly who he is, what he does, what his organization does as well. And then we will discuss just basic challenges that young people are facing. Lenin, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Noah. My name is Lenin Nyakinya. As he has said, um, I'm an expert in agriculture. That's cutting across fresh produce. We have also dry produce, and then now having blended products at the end of the day. This forms a business version of it, um, where I chair or lead as a CEO of a business company called Leon Limited. This is a Kenyan-based agribusiness company that helps build value on what has been produced from the farm into an edible form, in form of flour, we have in form of whole grains, and also in forms of food.
Fantastic. So, Lenin, a lot that you guys are doing, a lot of the. How did it start? Did you start by doing this? What happened? What led to you starting doing this? I remember some time back you were doing some tech solutions. What led you to now move from just being tech into now the production, the value addition bit?
Yeah, first, even before the tech, we were doing the business of buying and selling of fresh produce. By then, there were a lot of losses as fresh. And then the challenges of mobility in terms of transport, they was also very hectic. So we narrowed down now to building now the tech of now the input side, because we felt that would reduce the risk, so that we just focus on the inputs. But again, we built the technology, but again, it was not sustainable. And so we were able to supply a few technologies to the farmers, but still the farmers were having challenges of where to sell the products.
So market became a bit of a challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
Market became a bit of a challenge to farmers. And even the consumers were not able to access some of these foods.
Why?
So, because they are not able to get them, or if they get them, they're not able to get them in the form that they desire. So we ventured into that so that we make it accessible in different forms.
Okay.
As dry, times as fresh, times as packaged, times as flat.
Okay,
Yeah.
very interesting. So as you are doing this, you have dealt in different value chains. What are the value chains that you are you have been in, and which ones have proved to be easier to work with, from a business model perspective? Yes.
Well, we've tried a number. We have the horticultural sector, but again, we also have the field crop sector. The horticulture sector is still having a number of setbacks because of the value addition technologies available. But a few instances like fruits, we have things to do with banana. Again, when it comes to tubers, we have things like orange-fleshed sweet potato. We also have cassava. But again, also we have the field crops like now the cereals and then the pulses.
Okay.
So all this combined
Yes.
is what we avail to the consumer.
Okay. So let me ask you, which is easier to use to get from the farmers, because the transport proves to be a very big challenge, especially in our country. How do you go around sorting this out?
Well, all of them, I cannot say they are quite easy to get because number one is the status
Okay.
of those materials.
All right.
You either get them as half spoiled
Mm-hmm.
or you either get them in less quantities.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's where we have the aggregators who come
Okay.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them go to the farm levels, or we also have middlemen or brokers that go and aggregate. If it is fresh produce, they aggregate in a certain unit. Those are the people we work with. If it is dry cereals, we also get them from few aggregators on traders who
So,
do, yeah.
so do you deal with farmers directly?
Yeah.
Okay. What percentage of farmers, on a ratio probably out of 100 dealers, how many of those are farmers directly? How many of them are aggregators? I normally say aggregators, just a cleaner word of brokers.
Yeah. So it's quite a challenge to work with. I think I'll give a percentage of less than 30%.
Dealing farmers directly.
Yes. Yes.
What are the
yes.
challenges of dealing with farmers?
One is reliability. Number two is
When you talk about reliability, what does that mean in English?
reliability.
Yes.
Yeah, reliability simply means, as per this context, is when a business person like me wants a sack of maize, let's say in 1 week or so. We talk in the morning, in the later 1 week, I might not be sure to get it. Or if I go to the farmer,
Yes.
I'll miss it.
Why?
Either one, somebody bought it along the way,
Yes.
because it's for farmers, I think it's about needs, the current needs they have at that time. So if somebody comes immediately after the hour, the deal is gone.
So is it that the produce is not available, or is it that they take they do it on their own?
Yeah. So the number one of apart from the need is now the quantity.
Okay.
In terms of insufficiency, so the produce, in technical, we can just say it's not there when you need it.
So is it not there because of the region that you're working with, or is it that farmers are not able to bring that to the market?
In most cases, they are not able to bring it to the market.
Okay.
Yes. For number one reason is transport costs.
Okay.
And in terms of as a person,
So transport. Let's just dig in a bit deeper there. In terms of transport costs, what does that look like?
yeah, so they differ. They have different dynamics. For fresh produce, it's quite hectic, and also it varies also with the crop. For fruits, they can bulk. They try, but they reach the market almost half spoiled or bruised. We have for now bulky products like banana or cassava. It's now the quantity or also the bulkiness. So there's no better way or a simpler form of transport for farmers to bring it to the market.
So on and that hence the reason why now part of the food it gets spoiled. Part of the reason why again we see that value addition companies are actually dealing. They prefer dealing with the aggregators.
With aggregators, yes.
How do the aggregators go around it? Is that the reason why they manipulate the prices when they're dealing with farmers so that it takes care of their costs, or what is it?
Yeah, exactly. Those guys are quite organized. I think we need to give them a name maybe of organized brokers, because how they do it,
Yes.
they have agents,
Okay.
and these agents are switched within the areas of production. Some of them are just local individuals, and for a case like
Yes.
banana, they even know.
Yes.
They have a mark they put. For example, in a banana, they mark this, they mark this, they mark this. Another agent comes. If he finds a mark on a certain banana, he skips that. He looks for another one that is unmarked. So you see, in a farm, you might find they have like 4 agents.
Okay.
And then out of that, now they're the ones responsible for collecting, cutting, and then collecting.
Ah,
Yes.
interesting. So those who are joining us, we are talking to Lenin Nyakinya, who is actually the CEO of Leona Limited. That they do value addition on cereals, on things like cassava. You said cassava, soya beans,
Beans, yeah.
and so much cereals. The question that we are asking, and we want to ask ourselves, these hard questions. Yes, we have challenges in terms of food, accessing food. Is it that could our test buds change this? Could if we got affordable transport and logistics services, could that change what we are doing? And we're also seeing something else that is bringing out in terms of, as farmers, we are not reliable. As farmers, the quality is not as good as should be. But again, I think there's something that's important that you say, that if the transport is available, good quality transport, it will be a game changer. We will be taking a short break, and we will come back, and we will now dive in deeper and ask ourselves, ask our guest, what are the solutions that are out there that they're doing in terms of that? What does he want as Leona, as Leon?
Limited, yeah. Leon.
I have a very sweet niece called Leona. That's why I'm confusing. Leon Limited. Who are, what do they expect from farmers? What are the expectations from farmers? Remember, this is a Farmers Ask the Expert show every Friday. We'll be right back.
Amaranthus, or locally known as terere, is a highly nutritious vegetable that is cultivated and consumed as a leafy vegetable in many parts of the world. It's easy to grow, matures fast, as it takes an incredible shorter period than most traditional crops. There are many species of Amaranthus, with some green and others red in color. When growing Amaranthus, ensure the soil is well drained and rich in phosphorus, and most importantly, ensure the seeds are well distributed to achieve an even spread when establishing a grain Amaranthus field. Amaranthus is especially loved for its tender leaves and for their healthy dose of ions, vitamins, and a range of minerals.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club, and by extension, African Farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an agripreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions, but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision, they can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental, Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of Farmers Media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
Welcome back to a Farmers Ask the Expert show. I don't know, we have a new expert.
I'm not an expert.
We have a new expert who has joined.
I'm not an expert.
There's somebody who has joined us and she says she's an expert. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, it's been long. I've been out in the field. I've seen where I was somewhere in the field doing some things. But thank you so much for welcoming me into the Ask the Expert show. I heard about what you're talking about, value addition, and I have my reservations, and that's why I decided to join now. I'm burning.
You're burning?
Yes.
Alright, burn. Burn now.
Get an extinguisher.
Burn now.
Yes.
Tell us, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on value addition? Okay, there are things that can be added value, I presume, but there are others that can't. Like, you cannot do value addition in onions, tomatoes, like mojios.
You can. You can do.
Powder. How will you even cook it?
No, not tomato powder. Not tomato powder. You can actually dry tomatoes.
You can.
That's
Why?
a traditional way. Even
But even powder is there.
Even our ancestors, our grandmothers, they used to dry. My grandmother used to dry onions.
Yes, onions can be dried.
Yes.
But then tomatoes.
Even tomatoes.
Tomatoes you can
Then
actually
roast.
dry.
Then you can't dry.
No.
Then roast.
No, Jackie.
Explain.
If that is how you are burning, I think
Then
you need to
explain
leave
how
now. No, there's a lot of.
How do you dry tomatoes?
Oh, just the same way you're drying mangoes, the same way you're drying
They'll
bananas.
They'll get rotten.
How will they rot?
The same way, like.
How? Something has already had heat cannot rot.
Okay.
But then again,
It's like groundnuts. Groundnuts cannot rot after roasting. Meat cannot rot after roasting.
No.
I think you're burning the wrong.
It-
She was
they
burning the
have-
wrong
they
fire.
they have the grace period, but now you need to. explain to
Everything
us,
has a grace
like,
period.
This whole value addition thing to me is
The hoax.
a hoax, is a scam.
What do you think? Tell us.
No,
Defend
it's not
thyself.
It's actually a working a working innovation, it's the way to go. Now, we have been having the issues of one region of a country or one part of a country is pouring out milk, for example, and even tomatoes or even avocados pouring because there's no market, or the market is offering small amount of money for the fresh produce. But then again, we have another part that is lacking. Actually, I remember there was one of a quote. It was summarized in form of a photo of one person taking tomato from one place to another. That's a broker. Takes a tomato from farmer, buys at 5 shillings.
Jackie calls them aggregator.
Yes, sells it at 10 shillings at the market. That's a broker. Then we also have another person taking tomato from a farmer at 7 shillings, and then does some grinding and puts it in powder, then packs and sells it at 30 shillings. So the person who has done that is now the businessman.
The so-called
The
businessman.
person who has added value.
Uh-huh.
Yes, so that is how the agricultural business is, and that's where the sector is going to.
Let me ask you, Lenin. As Jack is mentioning, do you think it's something? Who should do value addition? I think that's where it becomes either a scam or a reality. Who should do value addition? Because most of the time we're telling farmers, oh, you need to do value addition and all that. That's a whole industry. That's a factory.
Yeah. So value addition is supposed to be left to an entrepreneur who is purely doing.
I don't do this. Who's an entrepreneur?
There's an aggregator, there's a businessman, and there's an entrepreneur.
Just the same way in a hospital. There's
Yeah. So the farmer's responsibility is only supposed to be production,
only.
and all his or her activities ends at the farm only.
Hey, this is the second time I'm hearing that statement.
Yes.
I always say that.
No,
I always say that.
it should not be that.
Yeah. The farmer's responsibility
Uh-huh.
is supposed to end at the farm. Reason is
Yes.
they've tried. There are some who have even tried aggregation. Even aggregation is not supposed to be a farmer's responsibility. Because that's when now they start bringing the issues of costs, the issues of qualities. They can't. The level of activities needed at each level are too
Lady,
complex.
you've been sent. In my mother tongue, I would have said you've been sent. You've been sent to tell farmers they should not go to the market. As you can see on our lower thirds there, you can actually see what we are discussing today. We're discussing about food systems. Is changing our taste buds the solution?
It's not a solution. You cannot, like, I'm imagining, like, I usually feel like even the hybrid indigenous vegetables.
Are you feeling or thinking?
I'm feeling and I'm thinking at the same time, you know. But then, why change the taste of everything? Because when you're adding value to something, let me finish. When you're adding value to something, it means there's more things you're doing to like you're adding something to that normal thing. Why would you want to change the taste buds?
No.
I prefer my indigenous vegetables bitter the way they are. When you tell me that you dry them, to prolong their life.
I normally tell Jackie, the problem of getting into a discussion when you don't know what people are talking about is that what we have. As we're not talking about changing the taste buds of Managu. We're telling people to have other taste buds. For example, instead of relying on ugali, you can start eating cassava flour. You can start eating other things. Because at the end of the day, we cannot rely on maize, and we don't even know the quality of maize that is coming into Kenya. Let me not touch there. Let me not even go there. But, we need to ask ourselves those hard questions.
So let me ask Jackie.
Yes.
When you say managu, you like managu the way it's bitter.
The indigenous one.
How do you cook it?
This generation does not cook. This generation does not.
Because when you're preparing
This generation does not cook, my friend.
When you're eating
At
it.
least you even adding value. You see, she's not even. She even wants to avoid how to managu is cooked.
Because cooking it again, one, that is an aspect of adding value. And then preparing it, there's also the aspect of adding things like onion, things like tomatoes, things like some even do cubes or Royco cubes. The goal is to make it edible, taste nicer, and even the way the main reason why you're boiling it is so that it can stay for long.
But the question I'm asking is,
Yes.
is drying it an option? Should we like really dry? Like when you dry the vegetables, they will not taste the same as when you're eating them fresh from the farm.
Yes. Why do you add value?
So, number one reason for adding value is even better taste. Number two is for resale, or rather for improving the shelf life. Basically, we are improving the shelf life of the product, the shelf life of even a commodity. Now, there are technologies. The taste, now that is where now the technology comes. There are those methods that when you use, the taste of, for example, managu will go away. There are those that when you use, it will be retained. So the method is what matters. Most farmers, or I would say traditionally, some use open methods of sun drying, which they have worked for periods of years. But of course, we've had different tests. But now they have even been trained on how to pre-dry it using within enclosed systems. So some methods entail removal of moisture. Some methods entail removal of moisture plus nutrients. So it's the one that you choose.
Okay.
A good example, for example, we have a number of Kenyans all living in diaspora. And then we have African leafy vegetables. This is something that forms part of their daily diet where they stay.
We aje nikwambie Jackie, kizungu hii kizungu. By the time I've realized what he's talking about, African leafy vegetables. Mimi nilikuwa nakwambia African leafy suburbs. Kumbe ni managu.
Yeah. So
nimeshangaa kwa ni Jackie. African leafy, you had it. African leafy vegetables.
Yeah, so this includes
Like you want to read the study about
yeah.
Okay, including so
This includes terere, managu, kunde. We have all these kienyeji vegetables.
Yes.
Including mito. Yes. Miro.
Miro.
Yeah, I hear some call miro. So when they travel, they pack them in dried form. In small sachets.
Unajua uzitembea na soup.
Yes. You can't even be allowed. By the time you hit the airport, it's discarded. So again, there are also other methods of value addition. Of you boil instead of just drying, but we call it pre-boiling or blanching. Blanching is where you just expose it in a very high heat, like chip, within a second, chop, and you have removed. That is so that you don't lose the nutrient.
Your wife does this work, or you've taught her?
I've taught. No, for her she does it. The others who are doing it, I think we have some quite known brands. I think they're in the supermarkets, where they pre-boil, they blanch, and then they froze. Is it freeze? They freeze, yes. So they are sold as frozen.
Okay, no, very interesting. So one of the things that I wanted to find out from you is that there's a lot of resources being pumped in every day into agri-tech. Value addition has seen its fair share where we're seeing machineries and all that. But we had a scenario where we had Kune. Remember Kune Foods?
Yeah.
What was the disconnect? Because again, there's a lot of money. That's something I'll come into. Because I think you've been in the industry for long. Why do you think agri-tech solutions are failing? not necessarily Kuna, but just Agritech Solutions? Because even them, they are an Agritech, but from the end part of the value chain. Why do you think these Agritech Solutions are not surviving beyond 2 years?
I think when you concentrate so much on the building or on the infrastructure, yes, you will have the systems, but what counts most is, did you sell the product or did you sell the service? Was the client satisfied with what you're offering? And how many people know what you're doing? The case, for example, for Kuna Foods, but just an example of others. I think there are so many of Agritech that have been funded to build their systems,
Yes.
the infrastructure, but the client still do not know the product. Yes.
And why do you think why do you think that's a problem?
I think people don't know. There's no awareness built for that. A good example is, even I know there have been a lot of funding that have been done in orange flesh potatoes, or we call value addition or grinding for the flour, stuff like that. But today you go to a shop, you tell somebody that we have orange flesh flour, they still don't know how it tastes.
So when you're building or when you're getting the resources to be able to do this, where does what is required? Because at the end of the day, it is an idea, and you've thought about milling orange flesh sweet potatoes. Niko karibu nijue ulimi. Tunaendelea hivyo. How do you change the mindset of the users, the end users?
I think the first is building the awareness. We have nowadays shows. We have shows that keep on running, either in form of brand awareness, and then this can be done even through radio shows like this one and even TV. But we also have the product showcasing in terms of like how do we call them? Nowadays they are organized almost every month in county levels. Just small. You don't have to wait for the client to come, so that they know what you have. But you take the product to the client, so that they know what you are bringing. Yes, I think that is where the focus should be. Who is going to consume this, and how is it tasting? What will make a good example is when we were doing some aspect of banana. What will make this farmer or this buyer eat a tissue cultured banana, or matoke made from tissue cultured banana, or matoke made from traditional banana?
Is it the sweetness? Is it? I mean, just take us through, because one of the challenges that we are seeing is that there's a lot of hype into value addition, a lot of hype into, but we're adding value to things that are not going to the market. For example, I have been seeing orange. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, she's called Sarah Murimi, who actually does supply the orange flesh sweet potatoes.
She supplies the vines, the
vines for farmers to grow.
Okay.
But I don't see those going to the market. So I don't know what is the challenge. Am I climate change?
No, I think.
And as we're doing this, we just like to see some of the pictures of the products that you are adding value. Yes.
Okay, so thank you very. I think the main is what benefit is it bringing to what is currently existing, and that is the missing link that most value adders are doing. There are cases, for example, of there's a certain brand of porridge for babies, and it has maize, it has sorghum, just the normal. But it has been reported that children are not taking it because it's not tasting nice. But you see, it is one of the leading brands that has been packaged so nicely. Now, on the same combination, we have another brand which is having Wimby, the same sorghum, with maize that is tasting sweeter to children. Reason is the technology used, they're very different. One does extrusion of maize, that's the removing the outer shell, so that it remains light. So of course, with the obvious reason that it does not become heavy for baby. But that is the part that carries the sugar for maize.
Oh, the outer covering.
Yeah, the outer covering. And even that endosperm. That's what we call extrusion. Remove that part so that it becomes light. But that is the part that carries the carbohydrate and it's sugary for the baby. Now, when you consume it with that, it will become very heavy. But now the other one does the roasting. The whole maize, but then it does roasting. You roast the maize until it enava. So this one, of course, has broken down the maize to some level that the baby stomach can handle. So you will find customers will prefer this brand as opposed to this one.
Okay.
Yes.
But
So-
I think there needs to be more awareness that
Eh,
is
like
done
Jackie ulikuwa umekuja na nguvu. Maisha.
iishaje bado nasikiza kizungu nisikia leafy vegetables
African leafy
That is
vegetables.
G, orange
Flesh sweet potatoes.
we are sorry. The thing is that there needs to be awareness because like most of all these products that you see out there in the market, these investors or entrepreneurs usually do a lot of marketing and a lot of like even public participation. You need to participate in all these shows. But then with value addition, my question is, even if you gave me that orange
Flesh.
sweet
potato.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, if
so
you,
you
even
know
if you
what
gave me that orange sweet potato,
Yes.
I'd prefer eating it in the
In
potato
the cooking
form,
huh?
in the potato form than in the flour form.
Why?
Before you start convincing me, Manzati, I can take porridge from sweet potato, and I'm used to taking the wimpy porridge with the potato itself.
Yes.
You know, you need to come and really tell me why I should do that.
But let me ask you, Jackie, is it an awareness thing that we don't want to, or is it that who should do that? Should it be government? Should it be private sector? Should it be the people who are doing themselves? Who should be able to bring this awareness of the of different taste buds in our food systems?
If you ask me, the person who came first of all with the idea is the person now to go out there and look.
But you see, they're addressing
for the.
they're addressing a certain need. For example, you don't find hospitals advertising.
Probably the entrepreneurs have not shared the idea with them.
Okay.
They
No,
have the idea, but they have it in their warehouse.
because you see, I'm thinking this. If you go to the hotels, the big hotels in Kenya, you don't get African leafy vegetables on the menu. I'm just thinking, hey, if I had a hotel, that's what I would be calling it, African leafy vegetables.
Yes.
Yani managu.
It sounds
Inakunde.
very nice.
Why is it that you're not this is not being sold in the main hotels?
The main hotels.
Yes, I had a friend of ours here, Nature's Best. They were saying that if that would be a very good thing. How come we don't have that? How come we don't have Nduma in Hilton has closed? How we don't have Nduma in which hotel? Trademark Hotel.
Okay, so I think the issue is also what she said. The consumer actually will ask that, and that is the missing link. One, if potato is cooked in, I'm just trying to answer that. Then I come to this.
Yes.
So when potato is cooked, you prefer eating it like that.
Yes.
Then when you turn the same potato into powder or into porridge, you will not see the need of eating it or drinking it because you can take it. But when you add something to this flour, so that it becomes richer than the normal potato, then that will convince you. A good example is you might have the flour a little bit with peanut.
Yes.
You see, so you bring some aspects of protein or something like that, because it's already, I think, a vitamin plus some iron or some carbohydrate a little bit.
Just a bit told just to speak a bit louder.
Oh, sorry. So you add something that is not there. Yes. So that is what needs to be also addressed in the hotel. I think one of the challenges, most people still do not know who their target market is.
Okay.
Yes.
I can see one of the things that you do is karanga flour. Tell us what karanga flour is.
I like the karanga flour. It's one of my favorites. Even though I'm against some of the value additions, karanga flour is the best. If you give me the beans of the karanga and the flour, I'd prefer the flour.
Prefer the flour.
Yes.
So karanga flour simply, it is existing in two forms. There's one that has been mixed with other flours like sorghum, wimbi. Let me use the Kiswahili terms.
Yes.
So there's one that has been mixed with wimbi. We have some that has been mixed with tama. Just to form a composite. A composite flour simply means a mixture or a blend of one or two. That is for porridge, specifically for babies and also for families. But then we also have the karanga flour in whole, as it is,
That's
as
the
the ground roasted njugu. So that one is used in vegetables. It used in it has also been used some it's multi-use. Some even use it for baking, especially cakes.
Me myself, I usually use it in making soup.
Eh,
Like you see, the Ugandans usually have the matoke. They call it katogo. It's so nice.
You know how to use it, eh? Okay, so most people do not know how to use it. So they will prefer the one for the porridge.
But then now this one for porridge, I'm just wondering, like you mentioned, you mix it with sorghum or wimbi, tama. So now in this porridge, will you add sugar or salt? Because as we know,
It's
with
already-
karanga, with karanga, we consume it in salt form.
In salt form. Now for porridge, it's not, when it's roasted, it's not roasted with salt. So that it becomes almost sugary, having some sugary taste. But still we find, in fact, personally for me, I don't take porridge with sugar. I take it as it is.
No wonder the body.
And so, how is everybody? Not gonna confirm. So I think there are also others that prefer without sugar. But now in the cooking form, the other one now that is pure karanga flour is the one that is used for soups. For some used for vegetables, some used even in rice, some used in fish. There are most hotels, especially Ugandan. Is it Ugandan hotels? But hotels with Ugandan diets. Yes. I know there's one in Syokimau. There are also some in Kilimani that use that. Hospitals, we are still trying to make that an awareness. Hopefully next year we will start that. There's something we wanted to do about it so that it can be included in hospitals, especially for mothers who are having small babies.
Yeah, the breastfeeding
Yeah,
mothers.
the breastfeeding mothers and
yeah.
stuff like that. Because I know it's used to make paste
Yes.
for children who are at the start of 6 months. They're given small sachets. That is.
Yeah, even breastfeeding mothers, not
Yeah.
fathers, they're usually encouraged to consume peanuts when breastfeeding because it adds milk. But now I'm wondering about, you're talking about the changing of taste buds with value addition.
Yes,
And,
because you see, why I was asking this question is because, we have a lot of food being produced. If you look at our neighboring countries, just if you go to Tanzania here, even Namanga here, you'll find that there's a lot of food that they're using. There's muhogo, there's, as in it's, you don't just get, in Kenya you tend to get just ugali, nyama choma, kwanza today is being Friday, ugali, nyama choma. You don't get an option of like muhogo or nduma or something like that. So we are over-reliant on maize. Ugali. So when you tell people that, okay, and it's ugali either wimbi or white.
White.
Sometimes
Yes.
even the wimbi, I don't know if it is food color. Anyway.
Yeah,
But
some are testing funny.
yes. Why is this the case that we and for me, is that changing of the taste buds? Is it changing or adjusting? It's like there's no chicken, then you eat now kanga. KWs don't arrest me. Or butter or turkey. It's either chicken. There's how many places do you get and go and get turkey? There's only nyama choma mbuzi or ng'ombe or kuku. There's no. Rarely do you get turkey. Rarely do you get butter. Yo, utashikwa peke yako. Why do you think? Why is it that this is the case? Ama ni vile nini? Wamewacha kupika.
They go to eat outside. So I think it's two-way. It's two-way. On the one that is doing the value addition, and also the one that is offering the services that includes the hospitality industry. One day I was at Panari. Now the chef introduced a certain diet that was never cooked within that hotel. And it was just a blend of what we know, what we've been using daily, but in a different form. So he brought this and mixed with this to form some soup. And I remember during the time he said there's an important delicacy that has been made for you guys. Specifically. So it is the first time, but please don't leave it. Make a taste and give me feedback.
Yeah.
So you see something like that. So we tried that with a certain hotel in Kitui. We did now the banana flour and then the mixed with some wimbi, then some soya. And then it was a new thing to the Kitui guys. So we went to a certain hotel and then we told them, we have this. What can you do with it? So they say what the best they can do is to make a little porridge, and then they tell people for breakfast, just have a little taste, then you give us feedback. When they like it, they include it in the menu. So the next time somebody will come and ask, I need that, I need this. Then you see it will increase the demand, and then the farmers will also increase their supply.
Wow.
How many people can do that in their homes? Because at the end of the day, there's still a lot of food wastage. Because if you don't show me how to dry the tomatoes, I'll buy a lot of them and they'll still go bad.
But you see,
how many people have this knowledge? Where did your idea of even making banana flour come from?
So now, let me address how many people can. Farmers can.
You have to be able to be very clear whether it is a can or should or can or would.
Or should. Okay. So, well, we understand that some will want to do at home level. But for commercial purposes, for it to make a business case, it's better they don't even step on it. Because it will frustrate. They can't mix the activities. But we can say at community level, they have their own way of doing, maybe at a group level. Then they organize themselves. But even at a group level, they distribute the duties. The issues of transport, that one is totally not even an affair of the farm. And not even a total affair of the cooperative. It's quite hectic. Transport is quite hectic. So normally it's left for young people who are having motorbikes. That is at community level. Now at commercial level, of course, we have those who are able to access tractors. For those who are able, not tractors, sorry, trucks. Those who can also hire. But we also have those guys who can. The transport sector is also a bit fragmented.
You know, Jackie, just say it as it is. Jackie is a broker. Those of you can also broker.
Yeah, those who can broker. Those who can broker. They can transport.
So let me ask you that issue of transport, because that is, for me, especially for the young people. Yesterday I was in Embu. And what I saw is that I saw more than 15 different, guys riding bikes. Black Mamba. Jackie, have you ever rode on a Black Mamba?
Why? What's a Black Mamba?
Black Mamba was a bike. Black Mamba.
Yes, the big one.
Those guys, in fact, I'll just send a photo. Let me see if I can have that photo. Those guys had, I think, close to 10 Migomba and Dizzy. 10, what is Migomba in English?
It's a tough name. Pseudo-stem. It's a pseudostem, eh?
Pseudostem, umesikia hiyo?
So,
That one. Me, that one, I know that one. The one that has that banana is still on date.
yes.
It's called a pseudostem.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
no,
then-
pseudonym, pseudo account.
Account.
You can see these people. You can see them. The people who say, the ones who send you a message and say, utaona leo.
Yeah.
And like 10, 15. So when I calculated 10, 15 times close to like 10 guys, those are 100 banana stems. You know, and if each is 800 shillings, that means transport is a crazy thing.
It's crazy. It's bad.
How do you maneuver to be able to make sure that you can collect the produce from the farms to where you are going to add value, packing, and sending the finished product? If the finished product would, if the milling was done at local level and brought in as finished, would that ease the cost of transport and eventually the cost of food itself?
Actually, it's at some instances that's what has worked for us. Eventually, you don't get the farmer to transport, but again, you don't get the produce to be collecting those bananas in one place is crazy. So what has been happening? You identify. For us, we don't work with the organized. We call them aggregators,
Brokers,
or
organized
brokers. But
Modern
now
brokers.
we task the group.
Okay.
So the group, we tell them we need dry form of banana as chips. So for them, what they do, they're the one that look for. They have different. We call them. You know, it's a cooperative. It's a cooperative society. So they have different groups. There's youth group. There's self-help group. There are those who are doing. So each different groups are doing their roles.
Yes.
So there are those that they get the task to transport.
Okay. Okay.
They bring it from one farm to a central place. In most cases, it's just under a tree, or a chairman's home, or the secretaries, or the ones deals with the money.
Yes.
Then from there, I look for another transport on my own
Wow.
that carries them from that place to where they're going to be milled.
Wow.
Yes.
Ooh.
Then from the milling now to packaging, where they'll be packaged.
So in this case, the cooperatives, they look for their own transport to bring it to a certain place under a tree where I'm supposed to collect.
Wow.
And then for me, I pick the row to where they're going to be dried, milled. And then after that, then it's being transported again for packaging. Another set of transport. Yeah.
I mean, you Msemanga wa Kenya say, we.
Yeah.
So, what is the role? How does transport and logistics services, if solved, how does that look like? Because I see at the end of the day, we have to be very realistic and tell ourselves, this is the problem, this is how we can deal with it. Because I was talking to some farmer yesterday in Makutano, Nairobi Nyeri Road, and the market there, and he said that why prices of things like nduma, the arrowroot, sweet potatoes, and all that is expensive in Nairobi, or why the price is high, is because the transporters charge very highly, but they are not returning. If you have a truckload of potatoes, of sweet potatoes, and a truckload of tomatoes, the one for tomatoes will fetch better prices, but the cost of transport is the same.
Yeah.
Do you think that would bring a change if that had been factored in? And I have some comments here, very interesting comments.
If you ask me, before he answers, I'd say
Yes.
the aspect of value addition now there makes a little bit sense, because once he has collected the produce from the aggregators in the village and he brings them, it reduces the amount of space that is required. Like you see with sweet potatoes, if you compare sweet potatoes and tomatoes, you put more tomatoes in a truck as compared to putting more potatoes.
Yes.
So with the value addition, it will
becomes
reduce,
cheaper.
It becomes cheaper, yes, and you'll find that you're faring more
So
as
Jackie,
compared to carrying them in the raw
Jackie,
states.
if you had somebody who took you out for a date I'll not say the edge set. And took you to listen to rumba. I told you where we listening to rumba is ugali ya wimbi or cassava flour with you know where I come from.
Just imagine.
It's called the meat is hey, if I say Dagi will fall down. Would you go to such a place?
No, I need to be convinced first of all. What are we eating?
No,
And
it's a date. It's a date. Somebody's taking you out. And he's taking you out to a place where
You
you
take
eat.
me to go and eat ugali ya wimbi with bushrat and miro.
What is bushrat now? Now you're changing.
See, you say that meat, CG meat.
No,
nini,
the
nini.
meat is now the traditional jama kusikwa, as in the...
Oh, the dried one.
Yes.
I'll taste first.
No,
If-
would
if
you
you-
go first?
Yeah?
Would you go there first?
If you're telling me you're taking me for a date, maybe at which place now?
No, it's not
depends
the
on the
place.
place.
It's the food.
So,
Or does it depend on the place?
It depends on the place. You cannot take me to a kibanda and then you tell me you're going to eat nini cassava tea. That's a date. We watch her. First.
Miaka imesonga songa.
see, that is now the aspect.
Hiyo ni miaka imeenda.
That is the aspect of now awareness. huh?
First.
Because no, I think now the entrepreneurs should listen to this, so that they target the places. They take those things.
It's true,
You've
it's
taken
true.
words
It's true.
directly out of my mouth.
It's true.
So that means that we as entrepreneurs who are adding value should stop thinking of supermarkets and go to the end users of this produce.
Yeah.
The hotels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would make
I
sense.
don't think so. It's not about targeting like the leafy suburbs.
No, we didn't talk about these
you need to create awareness. Like there's this value addition of this soya. Ile inakwanga the crumbs. What are they called?
Yes. Yeah, the breadcrumbs.
Not breadcrumbs. There's this soya that they usually pack in. They package that it looks like meat.
Oh, the soy sauce.
Soy sauce. No.
No, the
Oh yes,
That
soya.
thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's that. Me, if you give me today, I would not like try this is soya. And
Yes.
I would not consume it. But
Why?
from
No,
the
no.
from the advertisements
Why-
and maybe
why
when
would you?
when they show it on TV, this is how you prepare it. This is, and then somebody eats and tastes. You're like, hey, by the way, I can try it.
nice, huh?
And Jackie has just told you, who is watching, that we here at Farmers Media can do that for you. We can elevate your brand. We can take it to the next level. We can link you up to specific markets for your produce. This is a Farmers Expert Show. Ask the Expert Show. We'll be right back.
Agriculture is the Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over to agriculture. Agricultural development is one of the most powerful tools to end extreme poverty, boost shared prosperity, and feed a projected 9.7 billion people by 2050. And we, the Our Farmers Media, roll the carpet for you as we welcome you to our thrilling farm visits to different farmers that educate and inspire you in different sectors in agriculture. Catch us also on our shows on all our social media platforms as we bring you educative and informative information that will help you learn and guide you on your agriculture journey to success. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
This is
This is
a farmers media.
a Farmers Media.
We tell you the stories of African farmers.
To a Farmers Ask the Expert show right here. Every Friday, we normally have these sessions to talk to experts in the industry, to talk to those who are already practicing what they're saying. They put the actions to Nini. These are the people who have faith. They put action. they activate the actions. And today we talk about changing the test buds. We have seen that we have the same type of food throughout, you know. We have malenge, but we eat the leaves, and I don't know what happens with the pumpkins. And then, and we're not commercializing this aspect, you know. And Jackie came here with a lot of fire. Jackie, unajua kutangulia mabazi kulewa. You came with a lot of fire.
Friday.
Yes, and so we have an expert here who is an expert in value addition and also some English here, African leafy vegetables.
Orange.
Yes, and so what we're discussing today is how can we be able to, what is the role of the different challenges that we are facing right now in terms of food systems? What is the role of value addition? What is the role of not just value addition only, but the preservation of food? You know, and what we're saying is, what you started off, Lenin, is saying that why you prefer dealing with the aggregators or the brokers themselves directly is because of reliability, quality, and also the transport cost is really high when you're dealing with different farmers. Yeah, but as we go into finishing the show, and later on you'll tell us how people can be able to get you and all that. One of the things that we can see actually, as you are watching on the screen, there you can actually see the contacts, and one of the things that some of the produce that is added value there. But as we are doing this, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is we have different test buds. Yeah. But the biggest challenge we have seen, I remember some time back we were transporting some food to Marsabit, and the transport costs were really high. But when we told them that we'd like to transport things like pumpkins, they told us even if you bring those pumpkins, nobody will eat them here. And so are we eating what we test, what we're used to testing, or are we eating what is nutritious? What should be the case? Because to some extent even maize is not that nutritious.
Yeah, it's having less as compared to.
Yeah, I'm being told just to speak up a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's quite funny. Most of us eat what we are used to, and sometimes do not like what tastes strange, whether it's nutritious or not. So there are aspects to consider when doing value addition. One is the taste, which is number one. Then, of course, okay, we have first the nutrition, and then now the taste. I think that's what becomes the first key of considerations, and then now the price. Yes, the price, because somebody again will ask, like I know the case for dried fruits. It tastes almost the same. Okay, it tastes nice. It tastes better. Of course, we have different people.
Kwa lugha ya mtaa, ile wasamanga Jackie amekwara. Amekataa.
Yeah, so again, the presentability.
I did change topic.
Kama nilienda nikapatiwa ile time ile indigenous, and then they gave us the dried mangoes. Hii ni nzuri sana hii.
But you see the dried, you know what I'm saying, what I keep on saying is this, that issue of why I am not why I appreciate value addition but with a lot of consciousness. Is there's a friend of mine called Linda Chepkonyi. Linda Chepkonyi, if you're watching us, hats off. She actually says, don't just add value because you've missed market. Actually, you should actually add value because you have a better market for the produce. When you're doing it, do it good quality. When it is preservation, preserve the right way, packaging the right way. And for those who have seen Linda Chepkonyi, you can follow her on social media, and it's a very interesting discussion that she actually brings that across. Yes.
Yeah, so it should be one, what tastes nice, and then again what adds value to the body, and also what adds value to that kind of product.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
But I also think it also depends on people's tastes, because even me, if you give me pumpkin today, I can't eat.
That was the traditional. No, that was the traditional mushroom. The traditional mushroom is super nice. The traditional one is very nice.
The soup.
The traditional,
mushroom.
yes, the mushroom, the traditional one is very nice.
And the soup?
The soup,
The soup is,
the
of
traditional
course,
one.
no.
Can you make soup from
No, you
traditional? You
can't.
can't.
You can't make
Can't.
with the traditional one.
No, you can't. Lenin, as we finish, what do you think? What do you think the government should do in terms of supporting organizations like yourself in making sure that these things are accessible in the market, but also just how do you create awareness? How can government be able to create awareness? In government, I mean both local government also as well as county governments. What kind of support would you be looking for?
Yeah, so number one, I think, to both the county and the national is to support. Of course, I know there's the enabling environment. Other than that, we need support in terms of access to some of these technologies. Like drying mango is almost becoming difficult for smallholder processors. Because the technology usually inashikana, you see, that kukwama makes it become wet, or some are black, and that is now what affects tastes. Like people like Jackie cannot even like it, but there's a way when it is dry.
Jackie has tasted very many things.
So yeah, so there's I think only one. I think it's an international company that does it. They have the right equipment. So getting that machine in Kenya is almost next to impossible. And I think this is something that the government can ease in. Some of these machines are out there, but now the level of tax that are put on them are quite very high. That is just one way of supporting the machinery or the investment bit of it in terms of equipment. Then I think number two is now bringing the issue of awareness, and this can also go hand in hand even with policy. Like in the feeding program for children, there are those that they need to eat at specific months. What needs to there? I think it's some document. I've forgotten the name, but it will come later. That is, it must be there. There's some, like Wimby must be there to form that porridge. We also have mtama, but then we don't have something like banana. See, there are some that have not been passed, so it cannot even be put in like a national diet, and then even it cannot even be put in a hospital, because the hospital will only put what has been allowed. Yes. In terms of these nutritional programs, we have for babies, we have for children. Yeah.
That means that's the reason why we have big problems in food.
Yeah.
Somebody told me we have Nini. We are a country where English is a must, and agriculture is
an option.
So we have too much
Too
too much English without food.
Without food.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So there are some that are not within that document, and actually it has left most of the nutritional products or nutritional food to form those diets.
Very interesting.
And so people are just creating.
Okay, to pick your thoughts as we wind up, before we actually have our proverb, to pick your thoughts on this, what are your thoughts on GMO? Is it the right timing? Is it good for us?
Well, I think recently I just posted something. Uh, you know, it's quite a broad. GMO is broad. Professionally, I'm an agronomist. I did BSc in horticulture. I dealt with plants.
But how come you guys have not come out fighting for or against GMO?
So
I
that's
mean,
why
like,
I'm
you're doing
explaining.
it now, eh?
That's why that's what I'm explaining.
Yes.
So we have GMO. In fact, at some point, it can be divided into two. We have GMO that you know what you're modifying. Then we have GMO that you don't know what you're modifying.
What do you mean?
You understand?
This English is becoming too English.
Yes. So let me break it down in this. The GMO that you know what you're modifying, in this case, is, for example, for the case of maize. Maize, we know, is affected by
Follow me on.
worms,
Yes.
and then the issues of drought and stuff like that. So somebody decides to create a line. A line is just a type of seed that will be resistant to this follow me worm. So it means any other disease that or any can attack it, but fall armyworm cannot. Or anything that fears temperature. For example, if you take it to Ukambani, it will completely dry.
So you're saying
So a person
Ukambani, the
deals
son
with-
comes with the brother.
Yeah, a person deals with the gene. Yes, so a person deals with a line that is responsible for temperature, that can withstand high temperatures.
Okay.
So if anything comes apart from temperature, that can attack it. So that one we know that we are only dealing with maize that is going to be planted in a high temperature and it's going to perform. So you know what you are.
And it will perform without pest infestation.
Yes, it will perform without pest infestation. So that one is,
So
you know the results.
Jack is
That's
about
like
to
gene editing.
Jack is about to throw a jab.
Yes, so that is one. So the one that you don't know
Yes.
what you're modifying
Yes.
is, for example, you just want something big.
Yes.
You just want a crop that is big. You don't know, like, if somebody eats it, how is it going to react? Can a person also become big? You get? Can someone? So those are the ones that brings the issue. The genetic, the genetically modified foods that their results are not known.
Okay. So
Yes.
okay, very interesting.
Why are you not asking me my thoughts?
So
Lenny.
yes.
Maize, the price of maize has hit 6,000 shillings. It's the highest ever per 90 kilogram bag. So that means that we are talking about, if we do that mathematics, Raka, 6,000 divided by what? I'll
By
give the
90.
price, yes. 6,000 divided by 90. Yeah. Sorry?
600 and something.
Yes. What are your thoughts? Will you make
The price of maize.
It has hit 6,000 kilos per bag.
It's quite a serious challenge because that is just showing, with January coming, it's showing a serious, it's one of the signs that is able to tell you that we are going to face a serious food or maize shortage. Because when the prices are already high, and we know the issues of the current economy that we are in, most people already have started worrying of what they're going to do in January in terms of maize. Is it going to shoot? But again, is it going to lower when the food is imported, the GMO is imported, or what, or maize and stuff like that? So, and when one of the things that affect also food security is when there is worry of, will I be able to get it?
So when you look at the maize that is being imported now, do you think that maize is do you think that the maize is it a good thing that we're importing maize?
Unfortunately, we are importing.
Just remember, anything you say is a point.
Disclaimer.
Anyway, I'm just joking. Yes.
Unfortunately, we are importing.
Yes.
But also in the sense that we have farmers who are having farms that can grow, and these same farmers can also get the opportunity to grow
But
and harvest.
the Minister of Trade said that farmers who have maize are holding the maize. They're holding on to it, hoping it reaches 12,000 shillings. And he has said, I've seen somebody has actually mentioned that it will not go to there, it will go back to 2,500. Who is fooling who? Because if why are we importing and the farmers have close to 20 million bucks?
I think I will speak on the farmer side. I know, the farmers at some point become confused. There are two factors that affect if they are hoarding, or can analyze it in two forms. One way is maybe there's too much production, and everyone is trying to store for the season that is ahead, the dry season that is ahead. That is between January and March.
Yes.
That is one way. So they might be storing during the heavy, they're not really heavy, but the peak harvest, the harvesting seasons.
Okay.
Number two, maybe the prices are low at the moment.
Waiting for them to rise.
And so they are waiting for the price to rise so that they get back their production.
But you see, that's again, that's why I say, how much are we buying the maize at?
6,000.
Versus buying directly from the farmers.
But the maize that we are buying,
Yes.
are they coming from farmers? That's the question.
Let me not change that. We have some very interesting points that are coming up. Comments, actually. Hey, you got my fan, my friend. So we have Essie Orfa, who says, tuned in. The conversation is interesting and empowering. Thank you, Expert Lenny, for the important information. We have Lindsay Jairas, who says, good job, Lenin. We have Charles Owino, who says, good work, Lenin. Onyakinya. Lenin. Essie again says, I'll definitely get in touch with Leon. Leon is the company itself. Of more info and get to test their products. I specifically interested in Karanga flour. Very interesting. Could he please tell us the benefits of each value-added products in their catalog? Thank you. Yes, interesting. Another comment says, the ladies should try making chapatis with pumpkin. So great tasting.
Yeah, and Jackie, you've heard that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, pumpkin. I can try, but just don't give me the pumpkin too.
Jackie ana jiko. Jackie anapikaje gana jiko. Lenin, your last words as we wind up.
Yeah, thank you very much, the fans who are watching and the ones with the comments. Indeed, we have various products, and we have an outlet store located in Kitengela. It's open for visit. I think also we also give advisories on which one you can test. We also give like you can have and tests. Our products are fresh. That's what our clients know. But again, just another like a message to farmers is the market is big, is very huge. We just need to find out how to package the products that we have. They don't need to worry about packaging it. They only need to worry about producing it at the right quality. We'll do the value addition. Now, the transport bit is anyone involved in a transport. Let's make it efficient as we can. We have always, for us, for the products to reach this premise, it requires, actually everything requires transport. We were sitting the other day with some team, and they wanted to venture into the transport system, and they wanted to understand how it works, especially on the agri. You know, the transport sector in agriculture is quite totally different.
Complicated.
From any other transport.
You unasikianga a relationship complicated. The relationship between farmers and transporters is very complicated. Oh my.
So it just needs a good organization at all levels of production. We also have, at different levels. We have the production levels, we have the input level, we have the market level, and even the processing level.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Jackie, Last words.
Me, I'm one of the people who are usually skeptical about things to do with value addition, and
Please come move close to them.
and what I can
I know
say
you want to
is
sabotage my show, but it's okay.
what I can say is we need people like Leon here and the county government as well as the national government to put more efforts to raise awareness on the importance of value addition. There's so many things, aspects that when people look at, when you hear about value addition, you'll imagine the prices are way too high. But you'd rather pay a lot of money and have that product shelf life increased than buy things in a cheaper price, and at the end of the day it goes bad.
Welcome,
But then
Nadia.
we
You've joined
need,
us.
I've not joined you. I cannot take tomato powder or onion powder. That one you cannot
But you
convince
take
me. That's why
tomato
I'm
paste.
saying
But use tomato paste and
I
tomato
don't
sauce.
use tomato paste. I just make my own paste.
Tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, yes.
See, just powder with water.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
One thing I admit, she admits that she adds value in a certain way.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for those who've been watching us. This has been Ask the Expert right here from County 034. Every Friday, we bring you an expert who takes you through how to improve in your agri ventures. Give us your comments. Let us know in the comment section who you'd like us to bring to the show, and most importantly, let us know more about where you're listening and watching us from, and what part of which value chain you are in. Thank you for having watched. Till you see you next week.